Hey, welcome back to another episode of Frank's Unsolicited Advice. When I was 17 years old, I made a decision to enlist in the United States Navy. And I remember going to the recruiting station with a few of my friends, and we spoke to the recruiter. And he asked me, what do you want? And I said, well, I want to retire by the time I'm 38. And I also want to have a house, and I want to have a pension. And he tells me, I can give you that. I can give you that. And I said, that's what's up. Thank you. So I go with the process. I take the practice test. I bombed it. The dude's like, yo, you suck completely. Go study your math. Your English is good. I don't study. I disappear for about a month, and I take this test in January. But before I get to that point, he's at my house convincing my parents that it's the right thing to do. Not really convincing, that he's answering questions. My mom signs the paper, and before my dad signs, he looks at me. He says, Frankie, you sure you want to do this? Because if once I sign this, you're doing it. I said, yeah, Dad, I want to do it. So let's put a pin on that real quick, because I need you to understand something. I listened to my dad. I listen to my parents. To this day, I'm 41 years old. My father's 80, mom's 65. If they tell me to do something, I do it. I don't question. I trust their judgment. Always have, always will. So my dad told me that, and I said, okay. And I left to the Navy September 15th, 1997, the day after my 18th birthday. When I left my home. I left my parents, my sisters. My daughter was 8 months old at the time. I left everything I knew behind to embark in this journey, right? This thing that was supposed to give me something to do for 4 years. So let's put a pause on September 15th, 97, and let's fast forward to today, present day. I'm on the phone with my business partner, and he says, I could only imagine how it is to be on the ship with all these people. How is it? And I begin to talk about the conversations, their interactions, the people we meet. I talk about how the daily event goes, being out to sea. What me, my man G, Nas, and Jala were doing a hangar behind the bush the night before we about to pull out, right? Heading different countries. I said, I was telling him, I said, I was in Dubai in 2001 when nobody knew what Dubai was. Right now, Dubai is popping. Everybody wants to go. And I'm telling him, I said, man, it's no different than the conversation you and I are having now. It's just that we're on a ship and we're doing it. I should just imagine being with somebody for 7 days straight, 12-hour days working. Y'all sleep in the same place. Y'all eat in the same place. Y'all shower in the same place. Everything is together. You build a bond with people that you just didn't think you would build it with. I was telling him how I was in boot camp, right? I get to boot camp, and my first time ever taking a shower in front of other men, being butt naked, just being there, was in boot camp. And I thought I would be more nervous, but I wasn't. Sleeping in a compartment with people I don't know. Trusting that none of these dudes is crazy. And I talking about the Hollywood car wash showers, right? That we would do, right? So we got in trouble, and we had 8 showers, and there's no stalls. There's just 8 shower heads in a space. And the car wash is basically, you start in shower 1, you get wet, whatever, lather up, take the soap off, dry off, and keep it moving. Like a car wash. You're taking a shower like in 2 minutes. It's like the nastiest ever, but it's boot camp, right? It's designed to make you feel like, yo, I should have did better. But it got me thinking about my experience, and this is going to go full circle, and I want you to follow me on this, because I don't know if you need to hear this, and I really don't care. This is my podcast. It's my advice. I've been going through it, and I didn't realize it. I've been feeling down, and I didn't know why. And it's because the only thing I've known for the last 23 years might be coming to an end this summer if I don't get promoted. And make no mistake, I'm fine with that. I'm fine with it. Everything comes to an end. Everything has an expiration date. We're not meant to do things forever. And I get that. But when you start thinking about the experience and the people you meet, it brings you to this point where you're like, man, it's reminiscent, but it's sad at the same time. because I never thought I would do 23 years in the Navy. My plan was to do 4 years and get out. My plan was to use this as a stepping stone to get me a federal job and then move on, kind of like my uncle did. And I sat here and I made a career out of it. You know, this thing that some people are opposed of helped me pay for my daughter's college, helped me provide my daughter with medical and dental benefits. My wife, and it got me to my wife. I met my wife in the Navy. Helped me provide for our 2 kids that we have together. This thing of ours, like I call it, it's given me more than I can even imagine. I remember in 2000, before I went on my first deployment, I'm in Puerto Rico, and my Aunt Julie says, Frank, she tells me, Frank Kiko, get out the Navy. I'll get you into the best law school out here, and you can be a lawyer. And I said, nah, I'm going to stay in. And she goes, what did the Navy give you? And at the time, a young guy that's only been in for 3 years said a car and benefits. But 23 years later, 41-year-old me, there's no value. There's no dollar amount. There's nothing I could put to express what the Navy has given me. I can't even begin to explain what it's given me, because what it's given me, you can't buy in a store. What it's given me, you cannot order on Amazon. What it's given me is you cannot download on an app. It's called experience. It's called life. It's made me grow in ways that I don't think I would have grown before. And because I took a chance on something is why I'm here. I'm big on being where you're supposed to be when you're supposed to be there. I'm a firm believer that you will get to where your destination is in a time that it's supposed to be. Not when you want it to be, but when it's supposed to be. And I believe this was my destiny the whole time. At the time, I didn't see it. No, I didn't see it. But now I'm looking back and I'm thinking, man, this is it. I'm telling Pierre about all these different conversations I'm having with people. You know, me and my boss today, Chuck Carter, sat there and we're having conversations with the door closed. And I wish I could record those conversations, because those conversations are what I should be talking about in this podcast. Not the specifics of our conversation, but the topics. But, you know, it's life. You sit down, you get to talking. You next thing you know, you done talked about 5 or 6 different topics. We're talking about family, money, health, social injustice, discrimination, racism. And we talking about a dude from Georgia and a dude from New York, a white boy from Georgia and a Puerto Rican from the South Bronx. And we're talking about this. I'm telling him my experience, and he's telling me, well, Frank, I can't relate to you because I've never dealt with that before. I could only imagine how you felt. The acknowledgement that's there, because it's 2 people that's from 2 different worlds coming together to grow together, which is what we talk about. I don't think that I've been honest with myself about what's going to happen here in 5 or 6 months. That if I don't promote, I have to say bye to something where I grew up in. You know, we look back at our high school years, our development stages, and we talk about those years like they're the golden years. Some of us that go to college, you have that. Oh, this was my college. I used to wear a shirt that says I graduated from the University of Hard Knocks. And a lady asked me one time, oh, is that a real university? I said, yeah, it's called in the South Bronx. But the truth be told, I graduated from life in the University of the Navy, the military. I've went out in town in different countries and trusted another man that I just met to have my back in case something happens. We live by a certain code. We think differently. We act differently. We are different. And I think that that's what's been bothering me, is that as this time comes close to come to an end, I have to grow up. And me being who I am will be different then. No more uniform, no more title, no more status, no more nothing. No longer Chief Ferrer, it'll be Frank. And I think a lot of us don't realize how that impacts us in the long run. You know, when we sit back and think about it. And I'm not saying that I'm ready to get out. No. By no means. Am I tired of where I'm at? Yeah, the shipyard environment is very tiring. but I love what I do. Impacting sailors, training, mentoring, molding, role model, all that for people. And you see it develop over time. You come across people, and people come in your life for a second. And when I say a second, I'm talking about months, weeks, and you build a bond, and then them people leave and you probably never talk to them again. But that experience is there. And one thing we live is that we can meet somebody and connect with them and be like, yo, this person is so dope. And then they get orders and they leave, or you leave, and then that experience is cut short. And when you sit down and think about it, you're like, man, how many people we've come across and touched. So I answered Pierre's question. He goes, man, you really answered that question. And I said, did I? I don't think I could ever quantify the experience that I have with the Navy and what the Navy has done for me, or the military experience has done for me, because I've met people that I am friends with to this day that I consider family. I will leave them with my children if need be in the Navy. My brother Tyson, I met Tyson January of 2009, taking the Chiefs exam. And ever since that day, me and that man been tight. And he's from California. Nowhere near the Bronx. And even now, he's stationed here with me in VA. And guess what? He comes over. He stays in the house. I trust that man with everything I got because of the bond we built. Experience, people. I've been talking about it, and I guess this is where I'm supposed to go with it. I said encounters last week, but the experience you can't get over. The money can't buy this. It can't. This is something you learn over time, over everything. And I want to share that, you know. It's just amazing, the gift that I was given to be able to do this for this long. So these are just my thoughts. There's no title to this. Experience, life, living, maybe. But I'll tell you this, in my 23 years of being part of this organization, I've come across many, many people. And to think that this summer it can come to an end is very heartbreaking. Because you sit there and you realize that, man, will I ever get this thrill again? So I guess my point to all this is enjoy what you have. Live your life. Enjoy the experiences. Take it all in and enjoy from it. No title to this except my thoughts. Thank you for listening.